Let's look at the institution of the civil service and how it's supposed to work. I mean, it said that the head of service, the office of the head of service is supposed to handle issues of deployments, postings and all, and confirm reinstatement and all of that. Initially, what this whole argument is based on, some say, started with the court judgments, 2 court judgments that said reinstate Maina. But then there is also the civil service rules where he went, he said to be absconded from work, and so he was fired based on, that's one of the reasons why he was fired. So if the court judgment said negates the bail, I mean the arrest warrant that supposedly caused him to flee, the court judgment said nothing about the absconding from work. So the civil service institution as it is it working as it should based on all these rules that it's supposed to work with?
Like I said initially, a court may hardly tell any person to reinstate an issue where a court gives a judgment. You need an administrative enforcement to that court. If there is a court order, basically, you will need what? An administrative enforcement through procedures, or what you call due process. The basic issue here, like I told you then, is this. If he was dismissed or if he was sacked, his reinstatement must come from a memo. And then you think of the payroll and other procedures. We are all clowning before the world because we have not done the basics. Basically, he must have been reinstated, and then he's on the payroll. These are issues of administration. If we go back to this Maina's case, you remember he came with a truckload of mobile policemen in the gate of the National Assembly before the then president of the Senate, David Mark, called on President Jonathan and said to him, take between the National Assembly and Maina. The president then made, let me say, more or less, a cavalier statement on that. A year ago, if you were keeping tab, even the press has to bear this. Maina resurrected through what you call Berekete family and made some statements. So until he now entered into the mainstream of the civil service. So the basic issue is this. If he was disengaged, how was he reinstated? And how did he have posting? And all this went through. Now, if the head of service did not know about that, who then knew? And then the head of service would have collaborated maybe with the secretary of the government. But like I told you that we ran for 6 months without a substantive secretary to the government. As at then, the acting secretary of the government was a substantive PAMSEC. So with this confusion, she cannot query her superior or his superior by any estimation. Like I said, you cannot keep something on nothing. We have dilapidated alarmingly to worrisome dimension in public accounting system and general public service. So if we need a reform, we will start from that. There is no audit whatsoever of whatever any person does, internal and external. And you are talking about what? Public administration. We are making a big mockery of ourselves, and that is the situation. So any person can take any money. What we are saying now, after 2 weeks, another public embarrassment will come, we will follow that. So the basic issue is that if you are talking of what? Public administration reform, institute a reform, do the necessary engagement and assessment of what you have. Like I said, we can no longer reform now without the collaboration and input of what? International development agencies, because we are in a mess. Whichever way you go about it, from local government to federal government. Look at what we are, look at our story. Reinstatement of somebody who has been with trillions, and then there was no audit of that account. There has not been any basic or transparent inquiry. I said it was a presidential what? Pension reform tax team. Does it mean there was no handover on this subject matter? And what are we really doing for how long now since this issue started in 2012? So the entire issue is that we have lost the mark. The beautiful ones are not yet born. And this is the time to ask ourselves, why are we so blessed? Now, that's my submission.
If I could also follow up on that, I mean, having seen the sacking of the SGF and then the DG of NIA, if there appear or if there are individuals in government or around the president who appear to be stronger than institutions, do you think that the president will rein them in, or perhaps toe the line that we've seen previously?
These are appointees of the president. Let us be fair and honest with us. You must inspect what you expect. That is consequent management analysis. So basically, the box stops on the table of the president. And when you are a single executive president, so many things are required of you, and which was on the promise, the social promise of which Nigerians did what? Followed this government and said we have had enough. There is a man who professes integrity, transparency, accountability. Basically, since 2015 till now, we have not seen it. That is what we are professing, and that is what the situation is. So if you want to be born again from the remaining part of almost 1 year, because if we go by INEC timetable, by February 2019, there will be an election, and we have basically a year to go now. We have not seen anything in governance. All we are recycling is endless tales of what? Corruption issue, massive corruption, or paralysis of our administration. Every other issue is always what? Thrown to the public on social media and the rest, without a critical or enabling or even firm statement or policy thrust on what we are doing. And this is what? A frightening situation. It is a minus on what we already projected that 2015 should be goodbye to what? Business as usual. We are still sinking deeper, and that is what? A national tragedy, and that is my conclusion.